A very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour, a harbour bathed in sunshine, but not all that much breeze for the penultimate race of this year's JJ Giltinan 18-foot skiff championships. Hello, on behalf of the Sail Media team, I'm Peter Shipway, and along with Andrew Buckler and Jimmy Bury and our team, we'll be bringing you this 8th and second last race of the series. And boy, have we got plenty to report on based on the last race 2 days ago. We'll get a quick overview of the weather from Andrew and from Jimmy, the course. Andrew, to you firstly, the weather today, please.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Just a strange little east-nor'easter, really. Sydney Harbour, a bit of east on the eastern edge and a bit of north on the northern edge, with a weak trough approaching Sydney this evening, and so a bit of suppression going on, not enough compression in the isobars to make any real wind, and therefore probably average wind speed 10 to 12 and a mixture of east-nor'east and north-nor'east.
And most skiffs on the number 2 rigs, I think, Andrew, expecting the breeze to get up over 15. Would that be correct? I think in the park that was the case.
Yeah, and everybody's reluctant to depart from what everybody else thinks, and so they've all ended up possibly compromised a bit here. It certainly looks feasible to have put the big rig in today, to me.
We're down at the starting area off Double Bay, Clark Island, to the east of Clark Island, where the starting line is. And Jimmy Bury, good afternoon. And run us through the nor'easterly course, please, Jimmy.
Good afternoon, Pete. Yeah, we start down here near Clark Island, and they work their way up to the Beachel Buoy, just near the Sound and Pigs. Around that mark, said Spinnakers run down around Shark Island, back down here to Clark, work their way back up to the Beachel Buoy, go around that, said Spinnakers straight back down for Clark Island, around there, work their way back up for the last time to the Beachel Buoy, down around Shark Island and to the finish just here off Double Bay.
Okay, well, let's get to the drama of Thursday's race, and there's a lot still to play out here. The first big story is that Finport has a protest in against Andu for an incident at the leeward mark the second time, and this is the incident. Andu around the mark now, Finport tailing him around. Andu will tack, and Finport is claiming that they had to alter course, not to avoid a collision. But that protest will be heard after the race today. So that's the incident. A lot of people have had a lot to say about it, but the jury will have the final say, and that will have a big effect on the point score, depending on how the jury rules on that. So just looking at slowly there's Andu has got onto port and Finport still on starboard. So you can make your own mind up, but there'll be only one mind that will count, and that is the protest committee tonight. And so tomorrow we will have a very clear idea of how they went, and the points that we've got so far, we must stress, are provisional, because there's other protests in. Shaw and Partners versus Noakes Big Pete, and Noakes Big Pete versus Shaw and Partners. That also will be held tonight, but we must stress this is provisional, with one drop after 7 races. Andu leading on 17, Smeg 22, Finport 23, and then 3 skiffs on 27. Noakes Big Pete, Yandu and Rag and Famish. So it will have a huge bearing on the result depending on the protest tonight. And the other drama, of course, was the very, very unfortunate accident on Smeg, Michael Coxon. We saw them in the lead for a long part of the race, and then coming to the finish, they had 1 capsize in Rose Bay when they were luffing under Andu. They got away after the capsize, still in 3rd spot, and then approaching the finishing line, about 100 metres short of the finishing line, they had another capsize, and in that capsize, Michael Coxon got thrown from the windward wing into the boat and crashed against the boom, almost ripping his ear off when he collided with the main sheet block on the middle of the boom. And a very, very serious injury, so serious that he can't race for the remaining 2 races. I know he's watching, so Coco, on behalf of everyone, everyone associated with sailing, 18-footers especially, we wish you all the very best. Your health is most important, and we wish you a very, very speedy recovery. But the big news is the replacement skipper is the well-known and colourful Dave Witt. And earlier today, there's Witty, has sailed 18s before, ocean racing. He's been around a long time. And earlier today, in the park, I spoke to Dave Witt. Just as we bring Dave into view, there's the fleet just milling around the starting area. What have we got, Andrew? We're lucky to have 10 knots, 8 knots here at best, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah, we've got 8 knots here and probably 12 on the left edge. So it'll be a difficult but interesting day.
Still a lot of yachts on the harbour as racing on a lovely Saturday afternoon. A lot of sunshine about and a lot of traffic at the moment. But earlier today, as I said, we spoke to Dave Witt, and this is what he had to say. Well, it's welcome back to Dave Witt in unfortunate circumstances, no doubt. But how long since you've sailed on 18, Dave, in anger?
Probably the Super Cup 2 years ago, and then the last JJs would have been 2017. So we're about to find out whether this is a perishable skill or not, aren't we?
You got a trapeze belt that fits?
That's still work in process.
But it's been a good series. I know you've been watching it, but it's really been a close series so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, really close. Yeah, I think there's still a few protests pending that might make it even a bit more closer. But it's great to see all the different winners, and the fleet's pretty good. So I just hope I don't embarrass myself, and I hope I can do the Smeg boys proud today.
Well, you've sailed on Smeg before. You've been a former skipper, haven't you?
Yeah, back a while ago now. But yeah, I used to sail the Smeg, so it's all. And Tommy Anderson was my bowman for quite a few years, and probably one of the best I've had. So looking forward to sailing with him again. So where's the threat going to come from? About 20 boats for you, I suppose, is it? Myself. So we've just got to make sure I haven't got dementia yet, and I can still remember where the right way to go and stuff. All right, well, best of luck, and we wish Coco all the very best, everyone that follows 18s and all the supporters. All the best to you, Coco, and let's see how Dave goes today. Thanks, Weddy. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Okay, well, thanks, Dave. As I said, a real character, and I'm sure he's looking forward with some trepidation today, but we welcome everyone from around the world. Our coverage seems to be getting bigger and bigger, and we welcome Chris Bulger from Newport, Rhode Island. Chris was with us earlier in the week. He's now back in freezing Rhode Island, Newport, and I know he enjoyed his time out here on the ferry, so hello to you. Mick Ralph is back with us. Olivia Dameron, bonjour from Montreal. Bonjour to you, Olivia. Who else we got? Greg Melody, hi from Melbourne. Nice to have you with us, Greg. Andy McIntosh, still in Thailand. Good on to you, Andy. Danny Hoare, watching from Port Hunter 60-foot Sailing Club. Brendan Clark is from Hamilton, New Zealand. Hello to you, Brendan. From Boulder, Colorado, Philip Copeland. Well done to you, Phil.
It's Lucy Copeland's father from Sail GP Australia.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
Right. Well done. Yeah. Well, you must be very proud of your daughter, Philip. She's doing great things. Jack Gerrity watching from Bellingham, Washington. I know Jeff Stagg is watching from Annapolis. Hello to you, Staggy. You're in regular contact, so wonderful to have you aboard. George Simmel calling from the San Francisco Bay area. Brandon Clark from the Brisbane 18-footers. And our friends, of course, from Cumbria, the Ullswater Yacht Club, Heidi and Austin. They're watching again, and they're their tips. Look at that. Heidi has picked Smeg and the commentary team. Well, we like you, Heidi. You can come again. And Austin has gone for Thinport Finance. Well, you're on a winner, Heidi. No doubt about that. And wonderful to have everyone with us. And we've got one here, Andrew, that we got an email from. I'll just bring it up. From Alan Holmes. Hello to you, Alan. He watches from... He was the past commodore of the Whitby Yacht Club, and he's a volunteer guide at the Captain Cook Memorial Museum here in Whitby, in Yorkshire. He races an SP3 sports boat all winter, and it's not unusual for the main sheet to freeze solid in the bilges of the beats. Ideal, Pete. So I used to race on Whitby Harbour, and also there is a shoal known as Sound Pig Shoal
At Whitby also.
At the east of the harbour entrance. Now that leads me in to today's trivia question, Andrew.
Inevitably.
I know you're nervous. What famous ocean racing yacht came out of Whitby? Who was the skipper and what was unusual about the skipper? You got all race to think about it. Okay, there's Noakes Youth. They've had a very good series so far, a couple of very good days.
Prospects of Whitby, Arthur Slater had one leg.
Not bad, Andrew. That's not bad for you. The Google does work. Excellent. That was very quick.
Yeah.
There's more to come. Don't worry. Don't get too cocky.
Yeah, you be careful, mate. The world's round, remember. I'll have the final say.
That's
tomorrow.
right.
All right.
Okay, there's Marcus Ashley Jones, Geronimo Harrison and Rob Bell on the Lazarus. Had their best race on Thursday.
They're leaving a bit late, though, aren't
Yes,
they, Pete?
I think they're can hope only for top 5 at best.
Yeah, exactly. But we always get a friendly wave from Marcus.
No, he's not waving to his mother on the ferry, Andrew. He doesn't wave to you. His mother Amanda's on the ferry. So I don't think everyone's waving at you, Andrew. You're not that famous. Now,
Have you got anything constructive to say today,
yes,
Pete?
I have.
At all?
I'm on fire today. You can tell that. Graham Bennett watching from Thailand. Wilderich Pfeiffer. G'day from Snowdon, northern Germany. Mr. Pfeiffer, I hope I pronounced your Christian name correctly, but
So,
hello to you.
Pete, and we should have a shout out. There's a pretty big supporters club associated with the Black Knight, and there's a whole group of those guys watching, guys and girls watching in Bavaria. So, g'day to all you, the fan base of the Black Knight, which is
Yep.
not inconsiderable, and I've enjoyed a bit of beer in southern Bavaria, so we'd be very happy to trade places in the northern summer.
Okay, we're just waiting for signals to start. Breeze in the northeast. Ooh, lucky to be 10 knots here at starting area. As we say hello
Here we
to
go, Pete.
Stephen Metzia from St. Louis, Missouri. Mark Shepherd, Rockingham, West Australia. Brad Kellett from France. Hello to you, Bradshaw. So we're just waiting here. And anyone on their big rigs, Andrew? Anyone gamble? Did you see?
No, they all caved in. They all thought about it, and they just looked like they've all caved in. I didn't wander around the park late. I was dialing up some weather data. But
So quickly, water temperature, Andrew, here and at Lord Howe Island, please.
23 and a bit and 26 and a bit.
Okay.
I know, I saw the sign. Very important. So, Heidi, the coral growing quite well at Lord Howe at 26 and a bit.
Okay, well, there's the provisional series leader, Andu. They've got to go to the rooms tonight to extract themselves from that protest against Finport, Keegan York.
You wouldn't be looking forward to that, though, would you?
No, you never look forward to going to a protest room.
I don't care who you are.
No, I've seen a lot of tears come out of protest rooms as there's the 5 minutes signals. There's in the background the mighty Queen Mary 2 that arrived this morning at 4:30, and I believe you were out watching it, Jimmy. Is that right?
Yeah, we had to do a quick little job for Sydney Ports with Queen Mary, Ovations of the Sea, and the Nomad to bring them into Sydney Harbour today. So it was a beautiful morning.
Looks magnificent, did it, I assume?
Oh, it's incredible. Like we did the Queen Victoria the other week. They're, all those Cunard lines are just something to behold, and to be able to be up close and personal with them is, it's pretty cool treat when you can't get on board the thing.
Yeah, well, I was out doing my early morning run. I saw them come in. Lovely sight.
You can't make this stuff up, folks.
Now, there's our friends from Japan, not on camera, but just going past. We've got the burger in the bow.
Burger-san.
Burger-san, John O'Witty's son. There they go. And I can't see the sheet hand. Is that our... Anyway, we'll get to them later.
I think Takuya Arita is on the main sheet. There you go.
Yep, I'd run with that.
Okay.
So all these boys fully powered up for the rigs for this
Yeah.
start line condition. Below the range on the start line of the number 2 rig. So
But looking up harbour, Andrew, north of Bradley's Head in Taylor Bay and Chowder, there looks a bit more breeze, perhaps a little bit more in the left, doesn't it?
30, 40 degrees difference in direction and 12 knots instead of 8. There's the summary. So quite a strange day.
So what have I got to do? Get to Bradley's again, as usual?
Same
Quick?
story.
Yeah.
Ebb tide, let's go.
Yeah.
First man to Bradley's wins the race. There you go.
So
Or
where do
woman.
you want me to start?
Oh, the pin, mate, is the only place you can start.
Gee, look at the fleet. They're not wicked up by any means. It's very light here. Just under 3 minutes to go. The penultimate race, the 8th race of the championship. Today's race sponsor is Smeg, and they're racing for the Big Kite Memorial Trophy. We'll get a chance to talk a bit more about Big Kite, and I'll get Andrew to talk about that once the race gets underway, because Big Kite Dave Stephen was very close to Andrew, but we'll come back to that a bit more later.
Thanks, Pete. But Jimmy, low range number 2 rig, who do you think? Rag and Famish favourite?
One of the, Rag and Famish, or,
Or Noakes Big Pete?
Well, I was going to say Noakes Youth, like they've been sailing quite well, and they very light crew, and just someone to really think of in the back of your mind. But Noakes Big Pete, they can power that thing up like you've never seen before, so you can't write them off.
Yeah.
Well, Noakes Youth, as you said, Jimmy, they're lying 10th at the moment, provisionally, of course, but they've had a couple of good placings. So we're watching now, just under 2 minutes. Don't forget, Michael Coxon not at the helm of Smeg. Dave Witt takes his place.
So, Pete, I have my doubts that we're going to get a clean start here, because everybody will be down at the pin.
Stacked up down towards the pin. Andrew's right down there. And the breeze, they're just trying to get down to the starting area. Up the windward end, there's not much. There's probably more breeze also down the leeward end,
so it's
which favours that end.
It's a race to the river and to the wind, in a sense. The river going out at this point, so...
So Andrew is a little early. That's him going back on port, still near the pin.
He's trying to make a bit of gardening room, we'd call it, down there, and so doing circles and occupying a space and trying to scare people off. But it's going to be tight down there, I'd say.
Yeah, the 90% of the fleet are down at that pin end. Finport is not. He's middle of the line. Keep your eye on Finport. That's him there with that whitish jib. Yandu behind him. 1 minute to go. Oh, there's some over.
No, you're looking at the wrong mark.
A lot of marks down there. Where's the...
Trying to line it up with the flag now.
Peter, it's against the Ute, right? So
yes.
Just in front of the funnels on the big ship.
My first mistake of the series, that's all right.
First of the series?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Andrew, most lured. Above him, Smeg. Okay, so Dave Witt imposing in the fleet, on the fleet already. You see the dip in the middle of the line. 24 seconds to go. They're trying to hold back. No one at the committee boat. No one at all. If you want to start up here and have a really clear lane, you can see that mark. The Lazarus looking close. 10 seconds.
Are they looking okay?
What do you think? Oh, there's
one boat is
I think we're going to be general with one racing.
It'll be an individual recall, I think. Yep.
General. Yeah, it looks the pin was favoured, doesn't it? 2 hooters, we're back. Well, not to be surprised with that. Everyone really going for it today. This is a real moving day today. A lot up for grabs. A lot at stake.
All right.
Look at them all down there, weren't they? All the fleet were down from the middle to the pin. So this is the 8th race of the series.
Now, Peter, will we put up a penalty flag?
Well, interestingly, Jeremy Whitty said to me the other day he will only put up a penalty flag if he feels that the boats are pushing too hard. He won't put it up if he feels the line is favouring one end or the other. So I think you make sense of that. If he feels the fleet are too jittery on a fair line, he'll put a penalty flag up.
Okay, but the fleet's told him by inference that he needs to drop the pin back, or
because they're all down there,
or shift the boat forward one or t'other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So any more building the breeze a little bit more up at Bradley's. It's trying to get down to us this freshening nor'easter. And at the start here, we're probably close to 10, maybe 9 or 10.
So this is the furthest that and it's actually nor'east, and it's really not sea breeze. It's really just gradient nor'easter.
Yeah,
predominantly.
Yeah, it's very sticky, the air.
Yeah. And oh well, we'll have another go. No, what's he doing down the back of the bus there?
So we've got the flag is down. Hello to you, Paul Bergamini from Gladstone, Queensland.
Yep.
Hello to you.
God, there's some history there. G'day,
The
Paul.
Bergs.
G'day, Paul. How are you?
Okay, Ian Barnard's gone for Smeg. There you go, Dave Witt. You've got one fan out there.
Witty with one supporter.
Yeah. Grant Rollison's obviously got not much to do. He's every second message is from Rollo.
Peter, I can't ask. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're back now waiting signals again for the second go at this race. And hello to our great friend, the Rat, from Sacramento, California, who got badly injured in the Hobart race. There's the flags. He was aboard Sean Langman's Money Penny. So I know his recovery's been slow, but we wish you well, Ratty. He's got still a long way to go. You know the Rat, Bucko?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
That's
I know a few rats, but not that one.
That is the Rat. That was the next trivia question. What's his real name?
See?
So you rushed too quickly into the prospect of Whitby.
Give me a 0 for that second question.
Okay, anyway, well...
Now, Peter, have you got this pin in the right spot in your mind, right?
On the bow of the ute.
I've got it exactly
You're not
right.
allowed to phone a friend?
No, I can see it now. Eyes are good. There's so many marks down there.
No, there's a few.
So just over 4 minutes to go for the second go. No penalty flag up.
So the wind a little bit different,
more, yeah.
a little bit better over the whole track.
This looks settling into could be a two-sail breeze at best now. A lot more wind. A laser fleet starting somewhere in Double Bay behind us.
They tried to start at the same time as us in sequence with us, Pete, thinking they'd have a clear harbour, not expecting us to have a general recall, and all the spectator fleets all over their course area.
Okay, well that's the view of Clark Island, and just to the right, the Queen Mary 2. And 3 minutes 20 for the second go at this start. There's Finport. Giving out everything today, Keegan and his crew of
Gus Williams and Phil Marshall.
Gus and Phil. They've been a bit topsy-turvy. They had plenty of support down St George Way, no doubt about that. Getting cloudy in Brisbane, no sea breeze. Okay, that's an interesting one for you, Andrew. But there's the...
And for the Sydney siders, Pete, there's about 100 tickets left for the ferry for tomorrow. So get online if you want to come and watch the action live.
One or two ferries, Jimmy?
There are two ferries, and there's roughly about 100 tickets left. Once they're sold, there's no more. There's no backhanders. It's you miss out, you miss out.
You miss out, put the big screen on and watch us on Sale Media. And we've really enjoyed this series. It's been one of the closest for many years, and probably we won't decide the winner till the final race tomorrow is finished. But meanwhile, we're 2 minutes over, just over 2 minutes away from the second start, or trying to get the second start away for the 8th heat. Smeg of the race sponsor today, and the big Kite Memorial Trophy. Now, they're more stacked up at the weather end this time, Andrew. What are we making of that?
Oh, yeah, only because obviously they didn't get away that time. And the breeze has strengthened across the line, across the line. So looking upwind now, probably what we might think might be close to maximum wind strength for the day. It's 12 to 14 knots during race time.
One thing's for sure, Andrew wants the pin. He's hovering down there.
Yeah.
And there he is with Lazarus above him. And that's the pin, bottom middle of screen.
And Pete, you can tell that they're playing games to some degree because they're right up at the pin end with a minute 30 to go. What are they? You know, it's just a little turf war going on down there. And so...
Okay, a few yachts on port in the middle of the line, including Yandu. What's the old fella doing? He's getting across now, tacking across. So who we got up at the windward end? SeaTech, Royal Oak. Fisher Paykel, Finport's middle line, perhaps, or down, or about top third. Minute to go. Oh, Smeg's down at the pin as well.
Ducks and Drakes is called, I think, or something.
Dave Witt wants to let him know he's about today. Just remember, he's standing in as helmsman on Smeg. Don't get too nervous at home, Cocko. You'll be all right down. The Smegs looks all right down there.
Yeah, no, they're pretty well behaved. They're about the right distance back, so...
Yep, 34 seconds to go.
There's optimism, but they're very, very getting in each other's way.
Oh, yeah. And Rag has probably got a bit of a clear lane in the middle, as has Finport.
So now Andu and Smeg at the leeward end having a shot at each other.
Oh, Smeg's advanced down there.
And getting close.
10 seconds. Ooh, looking a bit ugly down that bottom end. I think we're going to be general again, are we?
No.
No, 3, 2, 1.
They're good. Yep.
Oh, yes.
Noakes Youth best out of the pin, I think. And
I
Rag.
think we're all clear, are we?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's an No, they're throwing the flags away on the committee boat. We're away.
Look pretty good live on screen.
Yep.
No problem with it.
The 8th race is underway. Andu at the pin. Just above him, Smeg. Noakes Youth, Lazarus, Balmain Slake. Yandu's in the mix. Shaw and Partners. Something's gone wrong there. They've absolutely missed it by 100 miles. I don't know what happened to them. They a long way back. That's them way back on the left. But well, breeze is up now. It's there's a few ducks and drakes going on up here, Andrew. There's a few lulls in this breeze.
Well, you can rely on that being the case all day, Peter, I think.
But it looks quite fresh at Bradley's. That's the good news for the fleet.
Yep.
And they're all three stringing. There's Finport, bottom of screen. Now, the old trick to get your lane back on port. That's when you've got to thread the needle.
So, Pete, looks like the guys out of the middle have gone okay. Finport and Rag as the two benchmarks. To lure to them, Noakes, Big Pete. Andu doesn't look too comfortable. Smeg obscured a little bit from where we are.
Well, the majority and the top place getters are all on starboard going towards Bradley. Burrawang just off screen is in irons, way back, and so is Shaw and Partners. She really got clobbered there, but we're concentrating on this leading group going towards Bradley.
So, of the leeward group, Andu leads. And of the middle group, Finport leads.
So can Andu cross Finport? This is the question. When Andu comes back, Andu's coming round the bow of Yandu. That's him. You can see the bottom of the screen.
And a nice looking big keelboat running down
towards the Yandu tacks. There's clear keelboat right in the middle of it. So he threads his way through a little.
And at the moment, I don't think Andu can tack because of Noakes, Big Pete.
The other boat doing very nicely is Rag and Famish coming round the bow of Finport.
Oh, yeah, they've done well.
Smeg's tacked and going round the back of Balmain Slake.
Oh.
The Rag and Finport look strong, but this is going to be the cross here. Andu's going as far as he dares here, under Bradley's.
Oh, he waited till he can call water to tack.
And then on his hip is the Balmain youth team. I haven't seen Noakes Big Pete anywhere.
There's
right above
at Bradley's tacking.
Oh, actually, sorry, I was looking for the white sails. That's Noakes Big Pete. I'm sorry. Second mistake. Okay.
Yeah, he's got the confusion between the two, the rigs.
Okay, they're taking confused turns. The next one he's coming to behind that turquoise spinnaker is the Bigfoot from Brisbane.
And he got out of there pretty neatly today, David Hayter and his boys.
Okay, just behind Noakes Big Pete and Andu. Up off their hip is Rag and Famish. Noakes Youth tacking, the red hull here. Finport going right into Bradley's. Go as far as he dares there.
Team Japan. Shipper?
Oh, Team Japan.
Finport out in the middle.
Finport's out in the middle, right.
In second. Rag and Famish leads pretty easily, actually. Got the best use of the compression of the headland. Had no interference.
Oh, there's a few dips of Vuzi on the Japanese boat. And good breeze here at Bradley's now. It's 11, 12 knots perhaps.
Yeah. Well in range for the number 2 rig for these guys. But this is pretty localised compression, so who knows. But I'd say it's going to be a pretty big day for pressing into the left edge.
Oh, the jet boat just here.
Yeah, look at this now. This is appropriate. This is a genius kumquat head. Look at him. Appropriate coloured boat. Sank one boat. Just get off the harbour, mate. Shouldn't be there. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
That was pretty outstanding, wasn't it?
Well, it was just
Then
ridiculous.
he puts his hands up like...
Yeah, said, why me? Why you fool? Anyway,
Stop it, Peter.
no, let's get back to the race. And Finport strong, Rag and Famish strong. There's SeaTech, one of the Queenslanders. Ahead of him, the Black Knight. So where's this all settling down now, Andrew? We've got Andrew's gone right out in the midstream.
He's
across Balmain Slate.
Yeah.
And
But Rag and Famish
it's tack short.
on his face, I think, or on his leeward side air. I'm not sure. Hard to tell from where we are. We don't quite have the drone there, but
So the pressure just starting to lift a little. What have we got, 12 knots at best here? Maybe 13?
beautiful 12-13 here. Yep,
Yeah.
indeed. Wow, and bumpy as, Peter.
Absolutely.
That's straight. Where are we?
Noakes blue.
So looking upwind, Pete, now, the breeze, the two winds look like they've merged together, and it's now just gently harbour axis nor'easter.
So we're on the full course, one race today. This is
But
the
we'll still
nor'east course.
see some weird stuff going on the leeward edge. The bottom reach between the islands be interesting, and the ley line into the island of first and third times down will be interesting as well. We're about to find out a few things here, though.
So prominent above these boats off screen is Noakes Big Pete. It's Andu and Rag and Famish we're watching. And there's a group, a leading group. Yandu, Lazarus, Rag and Famish, Dave Witt on Smeg and Andu.
And out hard right is Noakes Big Pete, and they're in good shape, and hard left is Finport.
And Finport coming out of Taylor Bay.
And Finport
On a
leads.
nice left-hander, he's close to the lead, Keegan here.
Yep.
Keegan York. He protected the left. Can he get across the fleet?
Well, maybe not.
Maybe not. It's going to be
good
tight.
enough. It's not good enough.
He still hasn't got high left.
No. No. Rag and Famish in front of him still.
Very close. Finport, Rag and Famish and Andu, and then still in the game, Noakes Big Pete. No, Finport behind Rag. Close.
Yeah.
And then we'll see him go behind Andu.
So that tells you very close between the Rag and Andu.
And to good breeze now off Chowder Head, the headland between Taylor's Bay and Clifton Gardens Chowder Bay. So I think they're all this fleet are trying to get in there.
Yeah. So the Noakes Big Pete, fairly big loss by going too far to the right.
Okay, Smeg tax.
Interesting day. See how Whitty's 15 years of retirement go for him.
He's lost a
No, he's
heap of
in-
weight.
he's-
He's
he
got
looks
Nick.
quite fit.
He actually
Yeah,
looks very
absolutely.
good.
I think he'll select him next week in the East Reserves, Pete. See how he goes.
He's
Okay.
a South boy through and through, mate.
Yeah. Yandu tax. So son leads father. So now it's a race in for these.
And a fantastic bit of compression against the headland here.
Yeah, it's really good breeze.
Wow.
The Andu tax just a little short of the Rag. Now it's going to be a speedboat race here. Andu holding all the aces here. He can just squeeze up. It's going to be a hard lane for Harry Price to live there. And Andu already just getting his bow round in front. There's Big Pete going right in. Oh, you'd think he'd go right into the headland here.
Yeah, he's about-
really good breeze.
He's about 5 boat lengths off the pace.
There he goes. And Finport's coming back out in the middle.
And this will be interesting now.
So it's a race in 4 or maybe 5. Balmain Slake very close. Yandu's close. Okay, with Sean Langman, Reese Maher and Ed Powers on the Noakes Big Pete. But now it's Finport coming back at them.
Yeah, and Finport will be third, I think. It'll be just about in line with Noakes Big Pete, I think.
Yes. So it's probably Andu leads.
Yeah. That Dragon Famish is making the choice about when to lob back on and get to the favoured left edge.
So
lovely wind at the corner here in Chowder Bay. We're up on the left-hand side of the track.
best all day here.
Chowder Bay, lovely 12-14.
Okay, Finport behind Noakes Big Pete. So that's third to
Fourth,
Big Pete,
yeah,
fourth
so-
to Finport.
About a 4 boat length loss by going to the east. So alternatively, you could look at it 4 boat length gain by going to the west. Despite the ebb tide, but there is good ebb up in Chowder Bay. So Finport laying into Chowder where we are, and the other guy's now standing into the middle, and I'm not sure what they're thinking, but structurally, it's tough to get on the east today, I'm pretty sure, Pete, still.
I'm just wondering, Andrew, if they've looked at the boats that are over the other side, and that's giving them some information, but Andrew's now coming back and saying that. But
No, I don't think anybody will leave the left edge in
they've
principle.
gone a long way.
In principle, yeah. Well, they're just having a fight with each other there, aren't they, to some degree?
Okay, there's Keegan just getting ready to tack. There he goes. He's right up in Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens. He needs a good left hander. There's some good pressure rolling down to him.
Yeah, so where he is there now, he's about 15 up from the last time he was on board at the previous headland. And he might be well advised to have another one back in about 2 minutes. Yeah.
There's the championship sponsor, the winning group, bringing this week of racing to you, and the SMEG is the race day sponsor. So Dragon Famish, Andu, Finport, all very close, along with Noakes Big Pete.
And Pete, you see now Finport and Rag nearly bow to bow. I think Finport might be in front of him again. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think it's going to be closer than what we all think.
So that's the gain of getting to the left.
Well, he got pressure and a slight lift, as you'd expect.
Amply demonstrated, shall we say.
They're nowhere near the lay at the moment,
No,
so you
not
can
at all.
come right in here.
Got to come all the way to where we are.
So, although we saw a terrific race on Thursday, we're seeing another great race at the moment.
So
Finport round the stern of Rag and Famish. So they're battling for second.
So surely Keegan and Sean have worked out that stay left, you gain.
Yeah,
both times they've gone right, they've dropped back.
it's not rocket surgery, boys. Come on.
So,
And it looks like there's less wind in the middle of the river. We can't quite tell from here, but just watching the telltale signs you get off the boats.
here's Henry Larkins, Miles Davey and Finn Toomey in the Balmain Slate having a terrific race. Just below Noakes Big Pete, who tacks right in Chowder Bay. Balmain still going.
Now, where's that favourite fella? Where's the Smeg gone, Pete?
He's out in the middle, Smeg. He's gone
No, you're back on starboard now.
back on starboard. He's right in the middle and coming back on nothing flash at all. The pressure and the lift is in the left.
So the Rag is tacked. I'm not sure they shouldn't have gone further right to the ley line if they could have. But Pete, you'd observe now less wind in a general sense at this end of the course.
It's Birkenhead to windward of Smeg
Yeah.
and Yandu. They're about 5th, 6th and 7th. I don't know in what order, but I'll probably... Yandu is probably 1, 2, 3, 5th. He'll go all the way, you'd think.
Yeah, he will.
George's Head.
He'll try and attempt a lay from George's Head in the compression.
No, just little jibbies there. There he goes.
Oh, he's as good as in the compression.
Yeah.
Another couple of boat lengths wouldn't have killed him, but
Oh,
So Andrew's going to lead at the windward mark pretty easily. Smeg tacking short. Oh, I don't think that's the right answer, boys.
there's really good pressure on George's head where we are and just near Smeg.
Well, I guess if Yandu can lay from there, I'll have to retract my statement. But
I think they're laying pretty comfortably from there.
Do you think so? Oh, Yandu, yes, I think Yandu possibly. Boats below them are higher than they are, so they're going to go down into more lifting pressure, you'd think. There's the Bigfoot from Queensland. Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Marr. Birkenhead Point, Kurt Mitchell coming across, not far off attack. There he goes. So it's a race to the Beachel Buoy, but it's Andu who will lead quite comfortably. The first windward mark. He's going to have a good lead here now. Gee, put the foot down there going out across on port tack.
yeah, so Pete, maybe there's enough east that the east side is okay up the top of the beat here, because Finport's got back in front of Rag and Famish as well.
Finport will be second. Coming in on starboard.
Byproduct of the funnel between the heads.
So Andu's round. The lead will be about 20 seconds. So these two are fighting it out for the lead in the championship. Finport round, good tack, got to get the bear away done. Great set on Andu. Jibe set. There goes Finport. Rag and Famish right on his hammer. And Noakes Big Pete will be fourth.
Yeah, nothing in it,
All
Pete.
jibe setting, are they? Yes.
Yep, nothing in it at all.
Oh,
and
Finport's got a bit of a tangle. No, he's
right.
clear.
Got it out.
Good set.
Good stuff.
Noakes Big Pete, jibe. Then Balmain Slake, fifth. And a fair gap then to Yandu.
So, Pete, explain that, the left Pate at the top of the beat, but they've all job set. Sorry, the right Pate at the top of the beat, but they've all job set, sorry.
Well,
Back to front.
it'd be interesting to see what Yandu does. He'd be next around. Is he going to jibe set?
He's fond of an idle bear away.
No, he jibe set on the Yandu.
Oh.
Then Dave Witt on Smeg. Hang on, Whitty. Good work, son.
And he's just going to do a bear away.
Yeah.
And that's probably just a bit of conservatism, I would suggest.
Yeah.
He'll set and then jibe.
Not great set too on the Smeg. Oh, there's a bit of action here at the weather mark. The Black Knights round, Bigfoot's round,
So
Birkenhead on the outside, Royal Oak.
The Black Knights got themselves into the top 8 again.
Yeah. And next around will be John O'Witty on Team Japan. Just leading Noakes Youth. Okay, here's Team Japan with a getting rolled there by Noakes Youth. Let's watch Team Japan, always good for a watch or three. Here we go. Noakes Youth around, jibe set. Here goes Team Japan. They're around. And next will be Lazarus. Yeah, they're off the pace today. Hasn't been their best regatta. Fisher Paykel round. And there's the overhead.
Pretty good job set on the Lazarus, though.
Good job.
Oh, if they could just shoot her on.
So, majority of jibe set and gone out towards the western shore. Smeg did just a bear away set, but he's now jibed and gone back towards the bulk of the fleet. No one except the Royal Oak has really extended in towards Nielsen Park at this stage. So there'll be a few jibes down this run to get your angle correct to go into Shark Island, the next turning mark. Okay, there's Andu and Balmain Slake. Andu led at the weather mark the first time. They're down to Shark Island for the jibe. Lovely conditions now, just a big sail, just a second sail breeze. Got a little bit fresher as the race went on, probably 13 knots perhaps at best. Finport in second.
So interesting here, Pete. Tricky jibing if they can ride this one. Presumably the breeze heading a little bit above lightning inside the confines of Rose Bay itself as you get toward the jibe mark.
So all the skips have got at least 2 more jibes to do. No one laying down. There's Harry Price on the rag, going in towards Steel Point, southern end of Nelson Park. He's got good pressure down the side of Steel Point.
And if he gets it right, he gets a header going in and a header coming out.
Yeah.
And
The
he's
white chute belongs to Finport.
He's right on the money.
He's very much on the money here. And there's Andu. He's closed up here, the Rag and Famish. He was a boat length behind Finport.
He's crossed them easily.
So he's crossed them. But Andu still leads as they go into a jibe. And we've got Noakes Big Pete still fourth and Balmain Slake close in fifth spot.
So Finport looks quite quick downhill here, Jimmy.
Can't go too much further.
No, he's needs a jibe, NOW.
Yeah,
but
okay, Balmain's jibe. There goes Finport.
Nothing wrong with that. Who got the most wind out of the jibe? Andu looks lighter in the middle of the stream.
Finport looks like they've got the most pressure closest in to Steel Point here.
Yep, just in the little headland compression again. Andu not far off it, I'd say, Pete.
No.
Yep, here he goes now, in fact.
Do you think he's on a lane line there? It's
Well,
quite light down here
He's
now.
being careful, but he knows the breeze is further right,
Yeah.
looking upwind, in the bay. So
Yeah.
he might have been a little conservative, but that's no bad thing.
Okay, well now,
Finport
Andu
back
leads.
into second at the moment.
yeah, just behind them is Finport and Rag and Famish. And Yandu now gone right in, maybe a whisker too far. Light air there for Yandu. He is still fifth, just on
Bad
Finport.
jibe on Finport.
Finport's done an ugly jibe.
Just to the left
Oh,
top
they're
of the
still in
screen.
trouble.
Yeah, they
Off
too
screen.
far near to the ferry.
They got really almost becalmed and rolled in on top of them. Gee, that's handed an advantage to Rag and Famish. If that's Rag and Famish with a black chute, Balmain Slake's got himself close to third.
And Smeg coming to join the party with Bigfoot behind the camera boat.
They're bringing some pressure down, but it's these two, second and third. It's going to get a bit tricky before the jibe mark. Don't throw away your cards yet. Nice pressure on the Rag. There's Andu going down the side of Shark Island. Nice little lead, probably 25 seconds. So who gets the puff here? Get too much and you're going to rag the chute to get up to the mark.
No, he's VMG running there at the moment.
At the moment he is.
There he goes. Full three strings now.
The birthday boy on the bow of Vandu today.
Yeah, that's right,
Sam
Sam
Newton.
Newton, yep. And Doug Cameron, one of the race officials. His birthday today.
3/4 centuries is what he keeps telling me.
3/4 century. We can work that out at home, hopefully. So just a bit soft. You can see Sevi Jarvan sitting in. Two on the wire.
So nicely judged, pretty efficient, Pete.
Nice little puff coming to them.
Down to the jibe mark very efficiently.
And Balmain Slake has really done a terrific job. So they will be third along with Rag and Famish second. But here's the overhead from the chasing pack.
And pretty much a VMG run down to the bottom from the jibe mark. So
Okay, there's the actual mark that they've got to go round at Shark Island.
some options for the chasing pack here.
Rag and Famish and Balmain Slake a bit bow up, but with good pressure.
And they're putting the wood on it, aren't they?
So Yandu,
Rag has to jibe first, and they do.
Yandu's got himself into fourth. Finport's been the big loser.
Well, he did a horrible jibe.
Yeah,
and
he's
then,
down in sixth place now. He's gone from second to sixth.
and then sailed slowly for about a minute, so I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah. So the three white spinnakers belong to Yandu, Noakes Big Pete and Finport. Yandu jibing early with the red and blue oval. It looks pretty light up under the island. Next around will be Smeg in seventh spot. And then Birkenhead in eighth with the black spinnaker. Then the Black Knight, ninth. And then the white spinnaker belongs to Lazarus.
See if Witty's forgotten how to jibe. Sorry, viewers. On screen. No worries at all.
Once you got it, you always got it. Maybe not quite as good as you used to be, but it's Kirk Mitchell and Andrew Stevenson, Daniel Barnett jibing. Black Knight jibing, Lazarus jibing. Great jibe on the Lazarus. Well, it looks like they lay down to the leeward mark, Andrew. It doesn't look like it, does it?
Two more jibes, I think.
Yeah.
Just depending on the structure of the wind. Andrew's down the other side in the more northeasterly flow. He looks like he's laying down.
The big mover has been Yandu. Got himself right in the mix here. He's in a very clear fourth spot. He jibed early, but that's Noakesby Pete. Balmain Slate with the orange chute. And there's Yandu just off screen now.
Yeah, no, two jibes.
Yeah.
It's on the second tree on the island if you're looking for it.
The second tree, that'll do.
From the left.
Yeah, copy.
You know the one?
Yeah.
So the breeze is what, we got 12 knots, Andrew, at best?
Be lucky to be 10 at the bottom.
Yes, it'll lift off down here. So after this, we go back to the Beetle Buoy, then the big long BMG run back down the harbour. But at the moment, it's Andu in the lead. Herman winning, Sam Newton, Sevi Jarvan. This boat is the defending champion when Sevi Jarvan steered it last year with Sam Newton and Matt Stenter as crew. Look at that, what a shot that is. The 18's all barrelling down to this leeward mark. Oh, they're well above it, yeah, they've got it.
Yeah, they've got
Nowhere near laying,
They've got to come down on the port tack low line.
Yes.
Bit of pressure. The lady will leave the jibe. Mark, nice and close to Clark Island, Pete. I hope you're on your game for the drop.
Don't let me down, Andrew. Make sure the halyard's clean.
Oh, already done.
Okay, good boy. Okay, as Andrew jibes, what are they going for? A jibe drop? Will that be the manoeuvre?
He's trying to set up for a jibe drop, exactly.
That's Rag in second spot. Balmain Slake. Then Yandu. And where did Finport end out of all that? Oh, he's up high.
He's up high, got no wind for a bit. Got some dirty air off a big keel boat and a few other little issues. Not so good.
So this will be not much of a delta here, probably. Now they're above the ley line here. There goes Andu.
Comfortable jibe drop, but too comfortable.
It's going to be a bit slow there. It's quite light here.
Yeah.
Lucky to be
10.
9 knots, 8 knots.
And Rag nearly overlapped with them, in fact.
Yes. Harry Price right on the hammer here.
Bit more pressure for Harry Hall in the bow, but all good. Look at that, Pete.
Yeah. Lovely.
He's been in my spinnaker dropping school. Not exactly.
Well,
When did you last drop a spinnaker, Bucko?
Oh, you know, I'm making it up, Timmy. Come on.
Okay, Balmain Slate got into third.
Unbelievable, Saints. Congratulations, Balmain Slate.
Well,
Another young team,
yep.
all 29er sailors, all lightweights. They're I think they're the only one in this leading pack with the jib on the inner tang on the forestay.
No, Rag and Famish is there too.
They are?
Yep. So not much happening here, guys. Bumpy water and no choice but to sail on starboard out to the breeze.
Yeah, Yandu around fourth, then Finport, very slow in fifth. Oh, no breeze here, real lift off.
Yep.
Then Noakesby Pete, and then
a raft.
Then Smeg.
A quadmaran made out of
it's very light
Noakesby
for
Pete, Smeg, Lazarus, and
Birkenhead Point Marina.
Point.
Yeah. There's Smeg trying to get down to the mark. Okay, they're around. They've got no choice but just to keep going, but someone's probably have to bail out. There's so much traffic coming down.
Pretty hard to bail, Pete. You're bailing into no wind.
The Lazarus round, then Birkenhead round the outside. It's really light here, you can see that. Here, then Black Knight around, just bobbing up and down most of the time. So that's the main group. There's a fair gap to the Royal Oak, who will be next. So we're off on starboard towards Bradley's Head.
At quite slow speed until we get to the middle of the river where the wind is back to 12, perhaps a little more. Ray and Famish to do a little tack out, in fact, to get out to the breeze. Looking at the fleet there, for example, Noakes Big Pete in the middle of the screen near the red chute, not in pressure yet. He's just getting 3 strings now. And Finport tacking.
Well, he's got to roll a big dice here, I think.
Smeg with this yacht, just to the left
Smeg,
screen.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's another yacht, and Smeg. Yacht's going behind Smeg. It's remembering Dave Witt steering Smeg today, and the absence of the injured Michael Coxon. Just coming to really good pressure here.
One little spiky bit of about 14, but on average about 12.
Doing a good job too, Whitty, no doubt about it.
Yep.
Step back into this class, it's not easy.
And can you get your next tack at the right time, David? It's the question.
And he's got a clear Noakes Big Pete when he tacks, but he'll keep extending here.
Starting to get into dangerous territory, Peter.
Yes, it's going to get a bit lighter for him.
I would suggest. Shortening up the trapeze wires.
Yep.
Come on, boys, get out of there before it turns into blancmange.
Yes. Oh. More waves coming his way, unfortunately.
Here he
There
goes.
he goes.
Noakes went at the
Noakes
same
tacked as well,
time.
so we wait till Noakes tacked. Smart thinking. Okay.
Well, yes and no, Pete, until he runs you into the...
Well, no, he's still got pressure there, the Smeg.
No, good. Well done, both boats.
Yandu's got a jump on those two.
Manly Ferry coming at you.
Don't know whether they saw that, but
Smeg's
Oh.
going to have to tack back.
Smeg going down the side of the ferry to lure to the ferry's Noakes Big Pete.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely better to have done another tack or two.
Well, looking at that, you'd have to say you were correct, Andrew. So we've got here Finport closed up on Yandu. Oh, look at Yandu. Oh, hit the lee of the ferry. Oh, Andu had to tack, but there's Andu and Rag. That's first and second. Standing just there above Bradley's Head so they can extend into Taylor Bay.
Well, the dynamics of the spectator traffic, as ever, considerable. And the spectator plus the ferries plus...
Oh, beautiful day on Sydney Harbour though. Like,
Yeah, a
it's sort
cracker.
of-
Really lovely breeze now. It's, what have we got, 12, 13 perhaps?
Yeah, same as the first beat, maybe just a little softer.
There's Andu. They're right in on the eastern side of Bradley's Head. Good tack.
Andu leading. Now, which way up the beat, Pete?
Well, I think he's just got to protect his lead here. He's quick enough. So that's second and third there as we're looking at it.
Yeah.
And right at top of screen is Andu. So just looking at this, it looks like it's a reasonably substantial lead.
Yeah, probably 40 seconds, Pete. And all that is a byproduct of leading at the bottom and being free to sail to some degree. The trailing boats inevitably in more bump and more dirty air.
Absolutely bending their backs now, these boys. They like it in front. They're very good at staying there, but still a long way to go. They're up the beat to the Beechel buoy now, the second time. And we just see Rag and Famish and Balmain Slake on starboard. And you'd expect the cover will come from Andu shortly.
So fin put on port, close to Balmain Slate.
Okay, and there's Andu just going off screen, top right. Is he going to let them go, or is he just going to keeping on?
He's just tacked, Pete.
He just tacked the Andu, okay.
So Balmain Slate's still third.
Yeah, but
Very, very bumpy water.
Finport's close to him, as is Yandu.
Yeah.
So again, a battle for the minor placings at the moment. Nothing assured here. There's a lot of swapping of placings. There's Harry Price's Rag and Famish. There's Finport, just tacked. Now he will cross Yandu, I think.
And the breeze distinctly lighter on the right edge, Pete, so he can't go there. He went as far as he could have.
Yeah.
Just going to cross it. I'm not sure there's any wisdom in going to the limit of the strong wind, you know.
Yandu got chicken winged up by that ferry.
Yep.
And now Finport going to the left.
Now, if Finport's prior form is any guide, he should certainly be fast enough to get back in front of Balmain Slate in the next little section. Tricky day.
Yeah, so Noakes Big Pete will be probably fifth. He's going out to converge with Yandu, but he might tack short.
He'd be well advised to, in less pressure, pretty clearly.
Having a look around, I think.
But he's worrying also about some traffic down the middle of the bay, I think,
so
as well.
Yandu will be across him by 2 or 3 boat lengths. There's Yandu.
But only in about 10 knots of wind.
Yes, lighter on the right.
Yeah. Watch the first rule of yachting, Peter. Don't go where the wind isn't. And that's what they're doing right now.
Yep.
Wouldn't expect that any possibility of them being able to gain by going to the right here.
It's got lighter here, hasn't it, on the right-hand side of the track?
We're right in the middle of the channel on the camera cat, and it's below 12.
Oh, yes, every bit of that. But Yandu and Andu, who are up, heading in towards Chowder Bay, they've got good pressure. That's Yandu, and you'll see Andu come across at the moment. Yandu's put the foot down here as well. He's trying to get close to Balmain Slake. The breeze is in the left with pressure.
Yeah, and so viewers on the left edge, and we're now getting towards the left edge on the camera cat, just behind where Yandu is, and Yandu across our bows earlier, and Balmain Slate coming up to cross Yandu.
Not much in between Yandu and Balmain Slake.
No, Rag and Famish still second, but in 12 to 14 versus perhaps 10 knots on the other edge, so self-explanatory in a certain sense. And you're looking at Rag and Famish out on port, and big old Historic 18 in front of them, and I think they will come back because they don't want to go through that bit of dirty air. Finport narrowly in front, sorry viewers not on screen, but Finport in front of Yandu.
Yeah, and they dropped off Noakes Big Pete then. You went too far into the right with no pressure.
Yeah, so there's so for the viewers, so we're on Finport.
He's close to third. Probably still Balmain Slake third at the moment.
Yep. What are they doing? They're in midstream. So Finport should be looking at the traffic and thinking about how to get back in, I think.
Well, that's first and second, and perhaps third we're looking at. Andu leading quite clearly. Just keeping a nice loose cover on the Rag and Famish. And coming out of the left is Yandu. But it's the Andu boys that approaching the weather mark for the second time. We're 2/3 the way up this beat. There's the overhead. There's the ferry going between Andu and Rag and Famish. You can see the pressure coming down.
Travelling
Off screen, Pete. Finport is in front of Balmain.
Yeah.
For the viewers lane.
Oh, and a nice little tack from the Rag boys. Pretty conservative.
Would you have gone a bit further there, do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe a bit further would have been better, but
Into Clifton Gardens, but
anyway, only about 12 knots of wind here where they've just tacked, and Andu upwind with a 1 minute lead.
with the best pressure of the day.
No, Pete, I think it's softer all over.
Oh, he's got some good puff coming around George's head. Look at that.
Not as good as it was.
No, okay. But there's Finport, Yandu and Balmain Slate. That's the battle for third. There's Andu, Rag, Yandu, and then Noakes Big Pete. Finport off screen is going into the left, following the track of Andu. And he's pushing hard for third spot at the moment.
Yeah, and I think Andu, to be safe, will come back in. But maybe not. Maybe it'll just come up, Rag.
Gee, how quickly the harbour's cleared, Andrew. Look at that. There's terrific runway up to the weather mark. There's hardly a boat in sight. Pleasure all racing. But anyway, these boys will be liking what they see. Pressure, clear harbour, and smoking along.
Yeah, well, let's see what they do. It is a 1 minute lead. Let's see if Finport gains any by going hard left. Less pressure on the right and so Andu about to get into less wind in the next minute.
Bit of cloud cover coming in from the west, northwest. Anything to read into that, Andrew? Probably not, is there?
No, just that there's
Not for this race, you wouldn't
a
think.
little bit of convection, and the upper flow is still westerly. Andu came back to us, so we're in the way. We have to get out of there.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in less wind when he tacked, and poor tack ley line into the top. Recommended. Here we go.
Getting close to this lay.
And the rig looks nearly fully powered up. Pretty deep at the half height mainsail. Here he goes.
There we go.
Beautiful downrange tack. No big rush to the end of the wing. Breeze 12, perhaps.
Well, Woody winning, rolled the dice. He went into the east there.
Good luck with that one, Herman. Woody?
Well, yes, it looks as though at the moment doesn't look too flash, but anyway. That's Noakes Big Pete.
We're about to find out
George's head.
the differential to Finport, Pete. They've been bashing the left since we last discussed it.
Yeah, Finport just tacking above Noakes Big Pete. Good pressure. You can see the streaks coming down the harbour. North Head in the distance. There's Rag and Famish. they're on a tight lay here, the Andu boys. But
Nah, they're cracked, Peter.
he's now
Roaring in.
jibe set, Andrew.
Absolutely.
You set up, you ready?
I'm ready if you are,
Okay,
mate.
I'll get her away. You do the rest. Here we go. Okay, bow down. Easy, easy. Nicely, nicely. Look at that, straight into it. Super job. As you'd expect from a crew that have been together a fair while.
You see the importance there of not dipping a wing and
Yeah.
how much that can slow you down.
Very solid. So there's the next three, and
Yeah, Pete, almost exactly a 10-second set there, so that's up in A grade.
like so the Rag and Famish will maintain second, and as Yandu's probably thrown a bit away by going to the right, Balmain Slake and Finport across him, and Noakes Big Pete is there somewhere.
Yeah, Noakes Big Pete
Oh.
in the leeward edge of the sandwich
Okay,
here.
so Yandu's tack below them. It'll be in squeeze mode.
And Finport's already overstood, so
Yes.
reaching in.
Okay, so Finport will be third. Jibe set on the Rag.
So the left paid by how much, we're not quite sure, but enough.
Okay, so the Rag, a good set. Next barrelling in is Finport.
So yeah, 50-second or thereabouts lead, Pete.
And the Balmain Slake boys hanging in there. Great job.
Fourth, beautiful.
Fourth. And Yandu will get ahead of just round in front of Noakes Big Pete.
Pretty good set on Finport. Bit slow to heat up though.
Yeah, there's Yandu round. Noakes Big Pete round. Into the jibe. And next will be Black Knight, I think, and then
Yep,
Smeg.
Black Knight, Smeg and Balmain,
Yep.
and Lazarus over here in the Eastern Channel.
So that's the leading group. They're gone, really. There's a fair gap now to the Black Knight. And then next is Smeg. That's Heinrich and his team of Thomas and Andy Martin.
Having a good day for Bavarians everywhere.
They're around.
In 8th, 9 Smeg, 10 Lazarus.
There's the over there. There's the charges into Clifton Gardens. This is the battle here for third at the moment. Rag's a clear second. The leaders are in a Chowderhead jibing. And Andu is a very solid lead now. Finport just got a little jump on the following three boats, Balmain, Slate, Noakes, Big Pete and Yandu. That's Finport's lead. It's narrow of those three, but probably strong enough to maintain the third spot down this run.
Yeah, and I think maybe the fastest boat downwind out of that lot is actually Noakes Big Pete, but not enough to make any difference, I don't think.
Fabulous sailing conditions on the harbour. And we're about halfway through this race.
Big Pete just jibing.
Yeah, he's the first to jibe. A long gap then to sixth spot. So perhaps a little bit of roll the dice on the Big Pete as Balmain Slate holding off the challenge of Yandu. There's Finport. Rag and Famish's jibe. Right in on the shore. There goes Finport.
A couple of different jibing methods, different division of duties amongst the crewmen.
Pete. They were first to jibe of that group. Here's the Balmain boys. They were last to jibe, right on the headland and chowed ahead. They got good pressure there. Now, off screen, Big Pete's come back on starboard, and he took a bit of a loser there, just a little bit. Finport's still in third. Balmain Slate, they've got this pretty right here. Finport's coming back and having a go here because they realise Balmain Slate's jumped them. Balmain Slate's going to jibe too, I think. Yeah. So now Yandu's alone on port jibe.
He's about a mile away.
Now Yandu.
Sorry,
Yandu.
Sorry. I thought you said Yandu.
No, there's Yandu and Yandu.
How can we get confused, Peter?
So,
That's interesting, isn't it? A little group all merged together almost. Rags escaped.
so this group running into Taylor's Bay now, while Yandu have gone out right in the middle of the harbour, but this is the battle for third. These three plus Yandu.
Fourth really, Pete. Rag second.
And the battle for third, these boats, yeah. Rag is second, and way in the distance is Yandu. He has put the pedal down.
Yeah, upwind for him to be pretty fast downhill. Well, it'd be well advised to think about a jibe here. The Finport's getting close to the lay line for the... Oh, here he goes.
Lay line for Bradley's head.
For the... Well, the cardinal mark.
Yeah. Well, they've all jibed virtually together.
Might have gone a little bit too far.
Well, he went the furthest last time. He did well. There's a great shot here. You can see Bradley's head, top of screen. The beautiful, pristine waters of Bradley's head. Look at that. Looks like the Great Barrier Reef. The late Ian Kiernan would be very happy with that. Clean up Australia man. Oh, a bit wobbly there, Winnie. Come on, mate. Swing it out on the snag. They're snagging about the 8th spot.
The Balmain actually pretty good.
Yeah, so we'll see shortly whether Yandu has made a gain by standing out on port jibe for a long while. He's coming back on starboard. There's Rag and Fabish. They've closed on him a little bit. And where's Yandu going to end up? We'll see him converge with them in about 30 seconds. There's a ferry's going outward bound to Manly. No drama with him, but Yandu's screaming in from on starboard jibe, but I think Finport's across him.
Balmain going to jibe back on the women's side.
Yeah, so probably not much change there. Maybe Yandu snuck up a little bit.
Well, Yandu has come back into the header on the right jibe, on starboard jibe. So,
and Rag and Famish went right on starboard, got a bit light. Finport jibing. There's the Rag.
Didn't like the look of it either.
No, there's a battle for second here now. Andu is gone, really. There he is. There's Andu right in double bay. One more jibe and into the leeward mark. There he goes. He's going to have a good minute lead here, Andrew, I'd say. Oh, maybe not.
Well, Rag's done the best job technically down the run. So, and Andu's just going, I'm cruising, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not too worried about it.
No, they looked a bit soft there for a while, Rag, but they're certainly not soft now.
No.
Fully wicked up.
They have gained quite a bit, I think.
Nice job, Harry Price. But there's the race leader and the series leader. Provisionally, I keep saying it. We've got to get out of the protest room tonight clean.
Oh, and he's made a little error here.
Yeah, he's
Underlaid
a little, but so now he's a bit soft into the mark.
Leeward side jibe drop with a square run.
Okay, now give me the differential here, Andrew. It'll be less than a minute.
Yeah, it's
very soft.
35 seconds,
So,
I'd say.
Rag and Famish have got one jibe and in. And they've got about 80 metres in on starboard jibers. Andu just waddling around the leeward mark. Now they're on the wind for the last time. Rag has jibed. And that's the Balmain boys in third. What do they say? Balmain boys don't cry. Great job, Henry Larkins, Miles Davies and Flint Toomey. Great performance as Rag and Famish dropping. Here's Yandu barrelling down on the outside of Balmain Slake.
And a little bit of extra wind coming to help the Rag. But
Finport dropped back there now, Andrew, what's the differential?
35.
35 seconds. Okay, here's second.
Not the best rounding by the
Rag
Rag.
and Famish, Balmain Slake. They've done a good job. Get the jibe done, Henry. Well done. Oh, Finport and Noakes Big Pete flying down in a gust of the day. Balmain's around. Oh, Noakes Big Pete plenty on. Geez, they put the crew under pressure here, some of these skippers. Okay, Noakes Big Pete in fourth.
So not bad work by the bowman. Wow.
Yeah.
And Finport's paid the price for pressure. Spinnaker in tide.
Yes. Oh, dear.
Here he goes. He got it out now.
Just. Oh,
Great job by the Black Knight there in the background.
Yeah, that gave the jump to Balmain Slake and Yandu for third.
And one person off the side as well on the Finport. Just to add insult to injury.
As Noakes Big Peak goes up and above them, but Balmain, the Black Knight coming around next, he's chipped away at them and a good, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. 8th will be Smeg. It's the Black Knight, nice and tidy.
7th.
Yep. Here's Smeg. Okay, judge that pretty nicely.
Yeah, a little bit more pressure, just rolling back in here. Tommy Anderson up to the job. Look at that, Pete.
Well, remember that, James Doran came in at the last minute for Ricky Bridge and Dave Witt for Michael Cox, and this is a pretty good effort by this team today.
Absolutely.
Mixing it with the best. As the Lazarus around, tidy. Goes Marcus Ashley Jones at the helm. Next will be Shaw and Partners. We really haven't seen much of them all day. They got a very, very bad start. I don't know what went wrong there.
They weren't even in row C, Pete.
No, they weren't.
Row E or F, or still waiting at the theatre door. Okay, folks, so the breeze 12 to 14 perhaps max, not even 14. Lined up with the harbour axis or a little to the right of that, so quite a big change from the first time up. Pressure now on both edges looks even from the bottom. Ebb tide weakening.
So we got a message from Richard Campbell Burns, who said old George Pearce, who was raw meat, always told me into Bradley's head was the king's leg. The first boat around, everyone else follows.
Yes, almost correct.
Almost correct. Old raw meat, one of the characters. Georgie Pearce, brother of Joe Pearce, legendary sailmaker.
And eater of slightly undercooked beef.
Okay, so we're upwind for the final time. The 8th heat of the championship. The race sponsor today, Smeg, racing for the Big Kite Trophy. And just while we're going upwind, Andrew, you might like to quickly give us an overview of the Big Kite Trophy, named in memory of Dave Stephen.
Yeah, Pete, so and for the viewers, it's a sad but true story. Dave Stevens, Big Kite, originally from the Lane Cove 12-footer club, and he raced 18s from the 1977-78 season, first with Bluey Chapman and Andrew Gothard on Bottle Mart, and Bluey Chapman was who he sailed the 12-footer with. subsequently with Peter Sorensen on a succession of boats sponsored by PK, Tia Maria and Foster's. Kite's career spanned the transition from symmetrics to asymmetrics, as well as the frenetic wing wars of the 85-86 season. Physically, Kite was a weapon, an A-grade fast twitch athlete, shaped like a rugby front rower and as strong as the proverbial ox. Perhaps in modern terms, resembling Dave Ewing's in physique, skill and speed, for a more contemporary comparison. Tough and determined, Kite was highly acute spatially, predicting harbour traffic issues with high reliability, a big asset on Sydney Harbour particularly. I had the fortune to join Kite and Sarah on the Tia Maria for the 82-83 season with a new boat built by Pete's wife Marilyn in what was to be the last year of the symmetric spinnaker. We were able to win the Giltinan in Auckland with 5 wins in a 7-heat series. It was over the subsequent winter that Kite was diagnosed with an aggressive form of leukemia. This was only discovered when he drilled a neat hole in his forearm whilst in New Zealand on boat work, and the wound would not heal. But we had a new Tia Maria on the way, and Kite assured us he'd be fine. He underwent chemotherapy for the entire subsequent season, and were able to win the Nationals at Henley Beach in Adelaide, with more than half the races sailed there in number 4 rig conditions in the days of 4 rigs. Plenty of sandbar surf action, but conditions in which Kite would mostly be grinning from ear to ear. In much lighter conditions, we narrowly won the subsequent Giltinan Sydney, making it possibly the only time a crewman had won this prize with a shunt for intravenous chemotherapy under his wetsuit. Kite never complained and never sought accommodation, and his Royal North Shore Hospital oncologist, Dr. James Isbister, used him on occasion to cheer up the other patients. Dr. Isbister assisted the formation of the Big Kite Leukemia Foundation, which funded research for several years subsequent to Kite's passing. Kite's last sail was aboard Foster's, a hull designed by Ben Lexton. Foster's had agreed to support this effort over the 88-89 season, and we had scheduled 2 races on a Sunday. First, an exhibition against the C-Class Cat Miss Nilex in the morning. After the morning race, Kite announced without any fanfare whatsoever, "I don't think I can make it this afternoon." He passed away before the start of the 89-90 season. So let's remember Kite. Tough, clever, irreverent, funny and entirely mischievous. If he could have been here today, he would have been puzzled by the proliferation of rules and regulations. He's not called Big Kite for nothing, and his view was if it's 18 foot long and it starts at 2:30 was the correct framework. Thanks for listening.
Okay, well done, well said, and well remembered. As we're watching the fleet now, halfway up the windward work on the final time, and the real battle is for third.
Here.
We've got Balmain, Slake and Finport. They're probably 4th and 5th, but pushing hard for third. But they're behind Yandu, who's got himself into 3rd spot with the Rag 2nd, and Andu leading. Andu the leader. And Noakes Big Pete back a little bit. He's close to Finport, but they're going into Taylor's Bay in this 14 knot northeasterly. Balmain Slake, they're sailing the race of their lives today, these boys.
Yeah, who said being too light was bad for you? So, folks, the breeze, as you sort of noted at the bottom mark, kind of even out over the track now. Still good left in the left, but the problems of the east appear to have gone away to some degree. Pretty even, true northeast and nearly just a bit left-handed on the left edge. So really not any passing lanes for anybody, and it's really up to the last run, Pete, I think, if this for errors, yeah.
Well, I can report that Balmain Slake has got himself into 3rd spot, just ahead of Yandu. But there's Andu in control over Rag and Famish. So you'd say the battle's for 3rd. Second is Rag and Famish. He's just got to keep his nose clean. But there's this tricky run to come. Once they get round the Beachel Boy, there'll be a number of jives to get down to Shark Island and then the run to the finish for this 8th and penultimate heat of this year's championship.
So the Balmain Slate taking the odds to it and gone hard right, which they're entitled to do.
He split with the fleet, was tacking back now, but Yandu, bottom of screen, going in towards the headland.
Tide's still there, Pete. So
Chowd ahead. And right in the background is that's the father and son combination. So did you work out my trivia, Andrew? Is any father and son won on the same series as skippers?
Red unable, Peter.
So do you give up?
I give up.
I'll tell you the answer tomorrow. Okay, so there's Noakes Big Pete, not far away from Yandu, but he's got to really tack where Yandu did, so he's got to follow him out. And got a bit squirrely up there for Shauno. They just went a boat length too far. You just see them bobbing up and down. Just ran out of gas. Whereas out ahead, Yandu got it to perfection. Wow, that's good sailing now from these Yandu boys. Foot firmly down.
So onboard Noakes and now mid-range flattening in place. Wind strength here about 14 knots. So at the top of the expectation for the day right now. But they've just got half a beat and a run to the finish, so no big deal either way. Looking at Andu upstream here, having a little intersection with a
This yacht looks handy. Well done, mate. Don't pull her away. Just hang there. Let the sails out. That's it. That's that ticket. Really give them some gas.
I think he's all right, Pete.
Oh, yeah, terrific.
That's the same guy that was out the other day.
Yeah, just flapping around. Anyway, he's out there. He probably would have got a How's Your Father or 3, but Andu keeps on keeping on. Terrific breeze now, 14, 15 knots. All powered up and laying up to the Beachel Boy, short of the ley line. But now Yandu and Balmain Slake. Must be confident of his speed, the Balmain boys. They've gone hard into the right towards Nelson Park. Hasn't really paid before these last 2 beats to go right, but that's where he's going.
But he might have diagnosed it pretty well, Pete.
Yeah. Just tacking now. There's the Nelson Park blinker. And Nelson Park in the background with all the work going on with the beach closed all summer. Back on the race leader.
Contentious among the locals, Pete.
Very contentious, but anyway, that's the council for you.
You running for council, Pete, next selection?
I'll go for mayor, eh? What do you think? Give him some. Ban powerboats on the harbour, that'd be the first thing. Ha! That'll go over well. Anyway, back to the sailings race.
Well, Paul Keating got rid of the jet skis.
Yeah. No, Bob Carr, was it?
Bob Carr, with
Good
Paul.
old Bob. With Paul. That great sportsman, Bob Carr.
Yeah, not.
Okay, let's look at the Peroni on the sail. A nice drop or 3.
Yeah, bit of Schweppes as well. Gin and tonic, beer. What's available in the Rag and Famish, Pete?
Whatever you like.
I know. Shout out to the sponsor.
Now there's Andu.
These
going
boys
up
are
to the
close to the
line.
lay. Got a powerboat going to give them a bit of grief here.
Oh. Andu very... Oh, there's Andu now. He'd be looking at this ley line, I would think. He'd be not far off it. There's Rag and Famish. He's trying to hit the ley line from fairway out. He's right on George's head.
I'd say they're both there easily, Pete.
Yeah, I think so, wouldn't you? Andrew now tacks.
In a little bit of ebb, and Andrew's just so far enough to cover.
There's ferries, there's yachts.
Yeah, it's not just about the lay line. You've got to find a
thread
space.
the needle.
Find a space. And the ragboards have done a pretty good job all series in relation to that.
Well, this looks like an easy lay at the moment.
Yeah.
And ahead of them, on the other side of the ferry, is Andrew on a very easy lay.
Also.
So the margin will be about the same as it was, I would think, at the Lewin mark.
Yeah, it looks a little bit longer. Looks like Andrew's going to 15 seconds or something.
So now it's clear between now and the Beetle Boy for Andrew and Rag and Famish. And what do they do? They jibe set or bear away, Andrew?
Jibe, Pete.
Jibe again?
Still a jibe, I think. But Andrew will probably just do a bear away because it's safer. Jibe set's there's a bit of a hazard in the dam.
An easy lay, as you say, and sheets are eased now. Andrew.
And both boats
big ease. Yeah. Andrew all but there. Just hang on to it, boys. There we go. Crew in.
No, a bear away. There you go. No, jibe set.
Jibe set. Jibe set.
Nice hoist in the jibe. That's not bad work, is it?
set.
Lammer.
No, I'd say the distance would be pretty much the same. It was 35 before. I'll time it, Andrew. Don't worry. That's Andrew running away on starboard jibe. Here comes Harry Price and Rag and Famish clearly in second. He's around 34 seconds. He gained a second. There you go. How's that?
That'll do, not bad.
So, Rag and Famish, what's he doing? Bear away.
Yeah, well, he's entitled to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
He's got to do something different.
Yeah.
let's see if we can just burgle something out of it.
And they're nicely clear of the Balmain slate.
Not with a set like that, they won't.
No, but
So Scotty Glaskin sent a message just saying, great spiel on Big Kite.
Thanks, Scotty. You know that we were pretty good mates. And it was always a pleasure to go for a sail with Big Kite. I mean, he was just an extraordinary fella.
Occasional swim in Kirribilli.
There's plenty of stories too, but we won't go into that.
Andrew, I know you'll find this hard to believe, but I've made another mistake.
Oh my goodness.
It's the National Parks and Wildlife replacing the concrete seawall at Nelson Park. Nothing to do with the council.
But too late, the state election
tell you.
time's up.
Yeah, Pete, I was going to say, I thought there was three possibilities actually: roads and maritime, national parks, or the council.
Anyway, that came from a long retired solicitor.
Nice work. So
Anyway,
I think I know the chapter, right? JH? Yeah. Could be, right.
Could well be.
Could well be.
Anyway, the battle's on now for third. Balmain Slake and Yandu on starboard jibe and Noakes Big Pete on port jibe. And now a real gaggle here. Gee, Finport's lost out there, hasn't he? He's back on the outside of this group, which is led by the Black Knight, and inside him Smeg, and on the outside Finport. Black Knight round.
Yeah, suggests there might be some problem on the Finport.
Finport
But anyway,
round.
Not to take anything away from the Black Knight. But here we go.
Big Dave Witt, get a raise. Way son up. Oh, never in doubt.
No.
Then we just bear away set. A good set from the Black Knight.
Yeah.
So the race down to Shark Island now for the final time. Wow, this will upset the point score.
So it'll be a bit of a test to get her up around the totem pole, as we used to call it. But the jibe mark at the corner of Shark. We used to use the cardinal mark back in the last century.
Marcus Ashley Jones in the Lazarus jibe setting. Next around the Shaw and Partners.
And Bigfoot. I think that rounds out the 10.
big news is that Balmain Slake are now second. They've crossed ahead of Rag and Famish. That's a terrific performance by the Balmain boys.
So Rag lost by just doing a barrel-away set. Well, there's your answer.
So the gap is even really wider now for Andu. They've opened up, they're almost down at the jibe mark. That's Balmain with the orange shoe. So the race to Shark Island is on for the second, third and fourth place that he gets us. That's going to be between Balmain, Yandu and Rag and Famish. And Yandu quite high here. I don't think he can burgle his way down, actually. I think he's going to have to jibe out of there. There's Balmain Slake in a boom again down towards the island. Right behind him, a bit to leeward, is the Rag and Famish. Way in the distance is Andu, well above the mark, the Shark Island jibe mark, but he'll just run down into Rose Bay. There's the Shark Island mark. There's Balmain Slake.
Yeah, the Rag's got a slightly nicer angle and will have a little bit more wind on average here. Probably the lead will swap back to some degree, Pete, but
yeah, a bit of a loser here could be Yandu.
Yep. Yeah, we would think that Yandu is going to get back 15 seconds or so.
Balmain Slake now getting the bow down across the Rag, but up ahead, Andu is jibe.
On starboard.
Andu is jibe on starboard.
Going to the finish with an easy lay, I'd say.
Beautiful. I think you and I could win it from here, Bucko, could we?
I could nearly swim, Pete.
Yeah, I think we could smell the roses, that's for sure. But as we saw the other day, nothing is for certain in this racing. Going to be very accurate.
It's to be interesting to battle for second. Andu's gone. We can put the
Put the glasses down.
put the glass down on that one. These guys will be jibing, I think.
Jibe on the Balmain boys.
Yeah, they've probably joined a bit soon, Pete, but we'll see.
There's a bit of a lee under Shark Island. They're going to negotiate, but yeah, no lee here for the Andu. Leaning back and just loving it.
Lee win.
Kept on keeping on.
300 yards past the
Almost perfect today. Strong out of the start. There or thereabouts the whole way, and now a very convincing leader coming into the finish of the 8th heat of this year's JJ Championship. The race today brought to you by Smeg, racing for the Dave Stephen Memorial Trophy. Herman winning, Sebi Jarvin and Sam Newton. They've got about 200 metres to the finishing line. They're off Point Piper. Here's the chasing pack. Balmain Slake. Their best performance, these boys. Young team, Henry Larkins, Flynn Toomey and Miles Davey. Must be very, very proud of their performance, and Rag and Famish in third.
And Pete, today the Balmain Slate have been impeccable tactically. Amazing. So
Yeah, they chased their hand up that last beat. They went into the right. They did split away from the main pack. And here's the result. A very solid second. Just got to hang on now to the finish. But meanwhile, we're about 50 metres from the finish. And it's Andu screaming along.
We've got two pictures of Andu. Which one do you like?
Well, I don't think they'll mind which one they've got.
Anyway, Andrew coming to it now.
They're through now. Well done. Well deserved. Well sailed. Top mark performance. So it'll be Andrew first.
Belmont Slate coming in hot on the lay line.
And you can't take anything away from Andrew. They just kept on keeping on. Solid throughout. And here's a team that really deserved top marks. Balmain Slate screaming into the finish. Oh, hang on, boys, don't lose them now.
Pete, even you couldn't sink them.
Well, probably not. Okay, they're across now. Terrific.
So the margin, Pete, less than a minute.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And here comes the Rag and Famish in third spot. Fourth, Noakespeak Pete have got themselves in front of Yandu, but we'll concentrate on Rag and Famish. Another good performance. Just couldn't quite get to Andu at times. Gee, the breeze is up now. It was forecast to freshen as the day went on, and fresh as we've seen it now on the run to the finish. What do we got? 16, 17 knots here. Sky getting a bit overcast out of the northwest as the Rag goes across, and here's the battle for fourth. Noakespeak Pete at the moment.
Perhaps, 16 Pete maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yandu fifth. Consistent as always. So, there's the big Pete. Ed Powers, Reese Maher and Sean Langman. Across now in fourth, and then not far behind them, fifth, and the Germans again strong in sixth spot. And then Finport, gee, second at one stage, but dropped back to seventh. Must have
Caught a sunfish and a palm tree and a plastic bag.
Well, there's the
probably.
Black Knight again in the single figures, sixth spot.
Good effort from them. Not quite
Very
so,
happy on board.
not quite so good on the Finport.
And then eighth. Well, put this down to a really good effort by Dave Witt and the team. Screaming into the finish. Dave just called up yesterday to fill in for Mike Coxon. They are hammering down here. So they will be eighth. And then a fair gap to Shaw and Partners, ninth. Well done, Dave Witt, Tom Anderson and James Doran. Got to be happy with that.
He got very close to putting the big rig in. I'll be able to ask Woody, would it have been better? Could you have leaned back more?
I doubt it.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see what he says.
Okay.
Wait for a few beers and I bet you I know the answer.
Yeah. Oh, it was big sail all day, mate. Yeah, maybe not. Still, the first lap definitely big sail would have led, I think, to the top mark.
So, Andrew, you're doing your maths?
Not yet.
Come on. We've got time. So, eighth is Smeg. Shaw and Partners will be 9. Dave O'Connor. Trent Barnabas and Tom Quigley. And then we've got the Queenslanders, I think, behind them. Have we, Jimmy, with the purple chute? Is that
That's the Bigfoot.
Bigfoot? Yep.
Lazarus is sunk halfway off Edwards Beach.
Ah,
There's a vintage 18, that'd be towed in, and a jug of rum and coke.
Well, that's the first time the Lazarus has sunk this week, anyways.
he's had a...
Not
non-regatta.
sunk to the bottom, viewers.
He's just
Capsized.
So he hasn't had a happy regatta, the Lazarus. So Andrew working out the points as the Bigfoot goes across in 10th spot. That's Dave Hayter, Benny Roxburgh and Elliot Marr. And then hammering in with the green chute is the Royal Oak and Birkenhead Point. The Royal Oak. Alex Marinelli, Matt Doyle and Darcy McCracken. Oh, getting a really good ride now, these boats with the breeze right up. Birkenhead, Kirk Mitchell in 12th. Look at this breeze now, it is a ripper on the harbour. So they're across the Royal Oak, now Birkenhead. Has Lazarus got him? Oh, Lazarus still trying to get himself up. Oh dear.
Next will be Fisher and Pikeal.
Fish pipe, okay.
Then Noakes Youth, they keep the wheels under the bus.
Youth, okay, so just watching now Jordan Gertis and Fisher and Pikeal come through. It's with Jacob Broom and Josh Feldman and crew. Just a lovely ride into the finish here. It's quite spiky, this breeze. Noakes Youth will be next. Tom Kunich, Finn Sprout and Aidan Mansley. There's Fisher Pikeal across. Here comes Noakes Youth screaming in. And then in the distance...
That's Lazarus Developments with Lazarus.
Okay, Noakes Youth now. Jimmy, we're on the overhead there. And this is 18-footer bar
Is it?
restaurant, yeah, with a
18
blue
footers.
chute. Trying to get round to leeward of Lazarus, which they've done.
So what's Lazarus going to finish here, Pete?
Lazarus will be... Is this Lazarus Youth or Lazarus Marcus?
This is Marcus.
Marcus, he's 16th.
Well, he's just made himself a new discard, hasn't he?
I would think so.
And did we get Ashore and Partners?
Shore and Partners.
9.
They were 9th.
Okay.
So that's the 18-footers across. Now Lazarus, after capsizing on the final run. Here comes Burrowang, barrelling in as usual in 17th. There's Lazarus across. Disappointing day for those boys. And Burrowang just leading the
C-Tech from
the other Queensland, and then following them,
The
Japanese.
Team Japan.
Yeah, Team Japan, C-Tech 18th. The red chute, 19th Team Japan. John O'Witty at the helm.
Okay.
Okay, so we must stress that this point score is very provisional because there's a couple of protests which will be heard tonight between a couple of the top skiffs that could change things dramatically as we're watching Team Japan. The burger in the front.
Plenty of bang on the Team Japan.
Yeah, hang on to it, boys.
Like-
This could be exciting here.
They should meet the Hoffel House halfway on that. Be about right.
Okay.
Between the Vang settings, absolutely.
Yes, there they go. Easy as you like.
Oh, well.
Team Japan 19th, and then right behind them is Noakes Blue. Okay, Andrew, what have we got, please? With one more race tomorrow.
So, as we say, Pete, provisionally, obviously, Andu, 18 points first. Second still overall. Smeg, 29. Third equal, Finport and Rag and Famish on 30. Fifth, Noakes Big Pete on 31.
Where's Yandu?
Yandu next on 32. Then followed by Shore and Partners, Lazarus, Capital, Balmain, Slate, and Noakes Youth.
Okay, so just go through that again for me, Andrew, please. The points are?
18 for Andu, subject to protest.
Right, and what's his worst performance so far?
6th.
Right, okay, yep.
29 second, Smeg.
So at the moment it's an 11-point differential. Is that, have I got that
That's
right?
correct, yeah.
Okay.
And then 30 points for Finport and Rag and Famish. Equal third or fourth, depending on where you stand, on 30. And then Noakes Big Pete on 31. Now, Noakes Big Pete seeking redress for whatever happened the other day.
Yes.
And obviously Andu in court on a port and starboard.
Well, so tonight we'll tell all, and we will have that news for you tomorrow when we come out for the final heat. And Andrew, I'm putting you through the ringer here. What's the weather for tomorrow, please?
A little trough passing through probably big sail southeast, perhaps with rain, is one expectation.
Did you say big sail?
Yeah.
Southwest, you
Big
think?
sail southeast with rain, perhaps.
Okay. You don't think it'll... I thought one of the models I saw, I thought it could see little sail southeast, but...
Yeah, no, that's all up for grabs still.
Yeah.
But the trough, whatever it is weakened and, it's changed a little over the last 24 hours. But the models aren't in complete agreement, but the probabilities look to me like 10 to 13, you know, that sort of wind range southeast.
Okay, well, just for the Bureau of Meteorology's, their water forecast for Sydney enclosed waters for tomorrow, variable below 10 knots, becoming south to southwesterly 15 to 20 early in the morning, then tending south to southeasterly 15 to 25 knots in the middle of the day. So it could be a bit spiky.
Depends what the middle of the day means, really.
Yes,
doesn't it?
exactly.
So, yeah.
All right, well, look, there it is. Heat 8, another really, really good race, but full marks to the Andu boys. Herman winning, Sevi Jarvin and Sam Newton. Clear winners from Balmain Slate. Boy, you can't underestimate their performance today. Their best performance in 18-foot sailing. Second, Rag and Famish, solid as always. Big Pete, Noakes, Big Pete, fourth. Yandu, Mr. Consistency, fifth. Black Knight of Germany, 6. Finport, 7. Smeg, 8. Shaw and Partners, 9. And Bigfoot from Queensland, 10. So I think we'll wrap it up now. The breeze is up from the northeast. Just a couple of stragglers coming across the finishing line. On behalf of all the Sail Media team, we hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed bringing it to you. So on behalf of all the boys behind the scenes and Jimmy Bury at the controls, Andrew Buckland, we thank you guys, and we look forward very much to your company tomorrow. We can see the championship ribbon put aloft aboard the champion, whoever that may be. So we hope you can join us then. So from Sydney Harbour, Peter Shipway saying good afternoon and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.